Why is everyone in this town bald as hell? Maybe I'll open up a barbershop next. And I'll have one called the glue special. If someone comes in and they're bald, I put a bunch of glue on their head. I hold them upside down. And I drag their head back and forth across the floor until they have hair. And then they pay me money to do that. That is my dream. I should probably do that instead of this. I would love to be able to just drag customers along the floor and then they pay me money. And I put glue on their head. I like massage it in there nice and even. And I'm very generous with how much glue I use. Because I do it for the love of the game at the end of the day. I would not be putting glue on people's heads if I didn't like it. And so, at the end of the day, I will be very generous and I will maybe not even fully capitalize on how much money I could make. If it means I get to put glue on people's heads and drag them across the floor of my professional business, which is recognized as a top business in the area. And then, when they get up from the floor and their head is all red and irritated from the friction, then they thank me and they tip me money after they pay for it. So they tip me money and they pay me to drag their head across the floor, which is basically the Sports Clips experience that I'm describing. But you know, we try and be innovative here because at least you get the whole thing with blood running into your head when you're held upside down. And I think for the haircutting in the business, I would literally I would only let them pick from pictures that I had. I would not let them show me a picture of what they wanted. And I would not let them give me any numbers. I would say, pick from one of these pictures. And I would find like funny pictures. And the people in them would be making funny faces. And they would have horrible haircuts. The bowl cut would be our specialty. And we would use an actual bowl. So we would put a bowl and it would come down to like here. It would not come up to like, it would come down to like here all the way around. And that one, I would suggest that one to anyone who like gets made fun of for having a big forehead, right? So they would say, hey, you know, people are always making fun of my forehead. I need a haircut that would help me out. And I would say, oh, of course. Well, we have the bowl cut special. And they would say, well, I don't know. And I would say, well, why don't you try it? And then we know what you think. And then I would do that thing that always happens when you go get your haircut. That even if you don't like the haircut, you kind of just have to say you do anyway. Because what's going to happen if you say, no, I hate this? But